Hey out there, all you Infidels. This is Joel Traveler from Chain of Command, and this is the first episode of 2019. With me today is Eric.
I'm Eric from Every Little War.
And
hey, I'm Tony from the Bay Area Infinity community, also Killionaire on the forums and Infinity community.
So we'd like to wish you all a happy 2019. I think last year was epic for Infinity. I think that's easy enough to say. I mean,
huge year.
It's a massive year.
There's a sample of huge year stuff on this table.
Yeah.
It's quite the rollout.
So, I mean, this is a lot of printed material, actually, that came out.
Remember back when Infinity came out with like one book every like 5 or 4 years?
They've definitely ramped that up, it seems. I mean, we got Uprising and Third Offensive just out of their printed material for this year, and then you've got the stuff that came in the boxes. And we are missing one, we realize that. I'm sure someone will say it. Cold Front. We forgot.
Cold Front, we forgot.
Yeah, we forgot it. So today what we're going to talk about is we're going to kind of do a 2018 in review and just kind of give our thoughts about that. And then we're going to talk about what's happening here in 2019, what we are looking forward to, what's going on with the tournament scene that we're going to be taking a part in, and do some speculation. So, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, so 2018.
I played JSA.
So
it was hard keeping up with all this stuff. There was so much happening.
yeah, it was a might be said to be a big year for JSA.
It was very busy.
Maybe.
Very busy year.
So at the beginning of the year in Q2 by that point, I think we had. It was Q1 or Q2?
It was February, I think, when JSA came out and Uprising. So this was very early.
Yeah.
Out of the blue.
And we ended up with like 4 new sectorials, and I get it, Drew's happened into December, but I'm still going to include it anyway because it's in the book.
So,
And the forums exploded with crying Eugene players.
I'm not on the forums. I wasn't crying.
I mean, if we have 4 new sectorals, do we reduce it by 1 because somebody technically lost a sectoral? I'm not going to go there.
We don't work in negative integers in this game.
Okay. We'll
Remember,
go
you
with
can't
that.
go negative.
I suppose.
Well, you can't go negative, I suppose, because you can't make a shot. You have to dodge.
No, it was independence. Like, really, we struck out on our own, and it was better for everyone.
So I thought JSA was fantastic. I thought it was a lot of fun, thematic. All the pieces and the fluff had been there. You were waiting for it to happen. I think that it's great. I think the fact that we play with a company that has a dynamic and evolving fluff is fantastic.
JSA struck me as being really big for the player base just because the models are amazing and people love the theme. Like, for whatever reason, the Japanese sectoral has always been really popular with the samurai imagery and the concept of guys who can just run up there, they can motorcycle, they can ninja. The only thing they can't do is apparently shoot straight past 24 inches.
Yeah.
And but that makes them really cool because they're a really different sectoral then when they're like, oh hey, our best shooter is worse than Pano's worst shooter. Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which has been a lot of big challenge so far in 2019, trying to fight against Verona.
I guess we'll get to that later.
We'll get
right?
to that, I think.
Because we're in February.
Yeah, we're just at February. We're just on tick down.
Yeah.
So the NA2 armies came out. What was your guys' favorite NA2 army?
Ooh.
I think
I was already JSA.
Okay.
Well, too soon. Eugene, NSA. You know, whenever I look in catalogs or go online or something, I'm still like, oh, I'm going to go and look up some Japanese models, and I click on Eugene entries at like online stores or catalogs or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that's right. They're not here. But I'd say the favorite has to be Starco, just because it's really mixed up how some of that stuff plays. They have some horrible threats, and they play very differently than other sectorals, and they've introduced the ability for you guys to use, like, for example, those Outrage models, one of which is becoming more notorious for being almost like meta-defining in what her power level is.
Emily. So what I love about Starco is they have a tool for everything. They can do anything. They're the only sectorial that has all 3 types of vision reducing and blocking options, right? They've got white noise, they've got zero, they got Eclipse, and they've got smoke, right?
Do they have Eclipse?
They do. It's Senior Massacre.
Senior Massacre, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
they have
in
Cybermask?
They
do
do.
have Cybermask.
Wahoo.
Oh, there we go.
She's a Hacker Plus.
And they have Bandits.
And they have
Killer
Bandits.
Hackers.
Hacker Plus.
Yeah.
Hacker Plus would be really nice.
Hacker Plus is really nice, especially when using ARO.
So they're pretty cool, and I'd say that Ikari is just really interesting and what a crazy mix of things is in it. and that got greater as later on it got the Fish Boys, who are awesome, or the violent terrorist Fish Boys, not the good boys,
Not
not the ones who pay for college.
Does anybody here actually play Ikari lately?
Jacob does, and then as soon as mine get back in the painter, I will, because my favorite release of NA2 is Starco Izakari, but because I love the theme, I love the backstory, I love the fluff. My paint scheme that my painter hit is awesome.
Japanese translator note: Akari means anger.
It's rage, not outrage, just rage. Or wrath.
But yeah,
I don't know.
and
So
like,
was Drew's a 2018? No, that was 2017.
we got the preview in
December.
like Christmas,
Yeah,
and it was in here.
It
But
was a Christmas of Drew's,
yeah,
but I'm gonna count it as part of Uprising because we're in the show and I
Okay.
can. No one's gonna gainsay me.
So what was great about Drew's? I kind of missed that one.
What's great about Drew's is Drew's hit like a freight train. They can do the EM launching thing Emily can do for only 1 BS less, and they get the most fun Scarface option in the game. Super fun. Like I would play Drew's just play
like
Scarface.
regular Scarface, huh?
You get Scarface that has a heavy rocket launcher instead of Panzer Fast.
Oh, nice.
And he has his fire team duo.
the one thing I thought about Drew's is looking at that fire team they're obviously based around, which is some group of Drew's shock troopers.
Yeah.
Their loadout looks like some dudes just ransacked like the Goodwill and grabbed every single gun and item. And so you've got the strangest combinations of like, oh, he's got a viral pistol, and that guy's got a chain Colt, and that guy's got an HMG and a Spitfire, and an EM grenade launcher.
Yeah.
And
Shock marks.
It's like what random objects can we get from the armory? Let's throw them into this goon squad and throw it out there.
And then everybody can join. What I think is fun about Drew's is that like this huge mob. Like you're gonna have 10 models, and you could probably link all 10 models. I mean, everything can get linked, and that's super versatile.
They were one of the first factions with a wild card, which was a Valeria Grum, is the hacker, which no one took, which the model's been around since like 2012 or 11 or something, and she can join any team, including.
Why is she on her knees?
She's doing cool hacking poses like they did back in the day, where she's typing with the goggles.
Why is she on
Anyway,
her knees? But my favorite was Akari. Even though Starcrow I played very, very successfully when it came out, because it's not hard to play unsuccessfully that sectorial. It's pretty forgiving.
I played a tournament where, thanks to Starco, my opponents in 3 rounds were in Lost Lieutenant for 5 rounds. That's insane. And one of them was a combined army player who brought a Skiavoros. So I'm like, man, if only I had some way of accurately making it go out of Lost Lieutenant. Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. That's why I'm heavily thinking about. Anyway.
But JSA was the 4th NA2 mark. New sectorial.
I thought JSA's build changes were a lot of fun. I think it has some super fun Harrises that I don't think people really use because I think they're fixated on some other stuff. But like the Masashi Harris, I think is awesome. The Daiokai Harris, I think is hilarious.
The fact that Domaru were just spice on everything makes everything better now.
And Eric, and you're the master of the how much can I push the Ninja and Oniwawa AVA to my meme list where I deploy like 2 guys and then say your turn.
Yeah.
I might have a little bit of too much of a love relationship with Oniwaban.
And those 2 guys are like ODD in the middle of the board anyway.
The fact that the Oniwaban are now in suppressive fire and in your deployment side of the board.
It ends up the ancient ninja weapons they finally mastered are the submachine gun and the shotgun both at the same time.
Yes.
Oh.
But
what came up after JSA?
Let's see.
In the timeline.
After JSA, we got the treason
Right.
narrative season. Yeah, that's right.
Treason narrative season.
Do you guys remember the closed battle list for Yon? Terrible name.
Never played those guys. Never seen anyone actually play those CBLs.
I played Chris Barney and used the 5-man Sandlink.
Yeah, I had one person play me the Yondun, one of the Yondun CBLs. I've had to face the
Svalheim one?
Yeah, the Svartalheim list quite a few times, but the Yondun only once.
I think they're more interesting lists than the Svarheim ones, because those were basically, here's an excuse to give yourself a weird kind of crippled Nis Harris, and the actual thing that does the work is it's a Jodam list. So
Yeah.
okay, the Jotun just does
Yeah.
everything, but those are actually like unique combo lists of
Yep,
things.
absolutely.
Yeah.
These are fun. I think these you can see how like CB got better at this
Yeah.
because they really hamstrung the Svarheimer list.
You know, maybe this is a theme for the rest of this
But
year, where they were exploring a lot of these options. Like, if you, especially later on, you see how the sectorals have changed from earlier in the year, even.
Celestial Guard with Sujio.
Yeah.
That was like an entire list.
So what's interesting to look at here is to see if any of this could be or placeholders for IA models.
Yeah. And I think the overwhelming answer was no. We needed new models for IA.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean placeholders like from a profile perspective.
Oh, right.
From what they do perspective. Anyway. Yeah, let's see. So we did that. We did Yondan. Treason. We had Karage Crisis, which was I think it was an improvement on the year before.
On Flame Strike was it the year before?
Wotan.
No, Wotan was the year before. It was an improvement on Wotan.
Wotan.
And
Did you guys
interesting stats
I
from
didn't do
Gen
any
Con.
missions for Karage Crisis.
I did.
I played a couple.
I did.
Yeah.
The CA was almost non-existent
Yeah.
in the Karage Crisis. It really wasn't doing things.
Since you were in your Morat phase at that point, huh, Joel?
I was deep in my monkey hate phase.
This is like edgy teenager with like wild monkey hair posters in his bedroom, being like, "Oh man, that Kurgat, so muscle,
so awful." With the previous model.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Or just watching Planet of the Apes all the time.
Yeah.
So
Damn
that was
you
good.
all to hell.
What was interesting to hear, or was interesting to see, was then after Karage Crisis happened, some of the things that happened in Karage ended up in this book in Third Offensive. And I thought that was cool, and I like what that may say for any future book releases.
I really like that all the latest book releases have all been focused on the fluff. So the rules are not printed and then immediately invalidated or obsolete. All of the books are full, just packed with awesome stories and just so much fluff.
Yeah.
I wish they could have done better on the maps.
I don't know why people were complaining about that. I don't understand. Like,
well, I mean, to be fair,
look at behind it. Pull up any freaking book here and start looking at the maps. Like, oh.
Yeah.
I'll be fair and
Will you be
criticize. Well, I'll be scathing in my own way, but I'll criticize CB in one way, which is they have wonderful art. Like, this looks amazing. The units and models look fantastic. But when you actually go in here and find a map, I'll find one right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it literally looks like SimCity 2000 for like a computer from like 10 years ago.
Well, it's got lines on it.
It looks like a Facebook game kind of, and so it's like it's a letdown just because everything else feels so high quality. That when you see this clip art map, you're like, oh, fictitious cities. I care about them even less now because all I see is a piece of clip art saying that's important.
At least there are maps. It's a big departure over where we used to get just paragraphs of fluff with cities mentioned in it.
True. And I do like the fluff approach they've been taking with all this stuff, just because they have the option to be more flexible in how armies are created and how the game is balanced, and like new options, making old models that are kind of overshadowed into All-Stars by doing that online and then leaving the storyline in the books. Because then this book never becomes obsolete.
Yeah, and that's important. The other thing that they were running into is, I mean, helping run a WGC, I see this stuff pop up every once in a while as new players would come and say, oh, I've got this book and I'm ready to play with the models of the book, because they've been taught by other game systems that this book that's printed is what you use as a reference point, because they don't give out free rules or army builders in a lot of other games. And it's a reference point and you play out of the book, right? But the problem with that was the last time they printed out a book, it was almost an edition and a half ago.
Yeah.
And those models, those rules aren't the same, the profiles aren't the same, the points levels aren't the same. But people are automatically starting with this idea of like, well, I bought this book, but I can't play what's in the book. Like, that's a bad thing.
I have new players already talking to me about like, oh, hey, should I buy Human Sphere or Human Sphere? Oh, that's right. You named the previous expansion in the earlier edition the same as the current one, which completes the game.
Yeah.
Don't forget about ITS 9 Treason.
Right.
Which
with the little pamphlets.
Was replaced with a new PDF the week it came out in stores.
Yeah, but I still did like the fact that we had a printed option without having to go and print it ourselves. So it's a bit of a trade-off.
I bought it for that card.
The cards are pretty cool.
So the
that's right. The card decks got updated.
Card,
New classified deck.
New classified deck. I really like the new classified deck. I have one criticism on it, and I wish that I wish they had done different colored backs for the regular classifieds versus the extreme classifieds.
Yeah.
Because I hate going through and missing it, because you could miss it. You can miss one game miss pack.
Especially because the old not kidnapping. Hold the HVT. Security HVT.
Yeah.
The old one was red.
Yeah.
But that was that was a prize support card when it come in the pack.
Yeah.
So maybe that came that way. But
I don't like the symbols. I don't like that if you've got this symbol on your card, you get bonus points or can counter their symbol card.
You know what? They're playing. The nice thing is that allows them to. The ITS season in general and the classified deck is a spin-off of that. That allows them to play with different product offerings, and I think it really, they can be interesting. They can create this, right? Mm-hmm. So that icon based, you find that in a lot of other games, right? I mean, you find that in like Fantasy Flight games. You find it in a lot of
sure,
games, right?
But in Magic, at least they align to a certain terrain type.
Because they told you that's what it does, right? It told you that was the way. This is where them educating you on what that means.
In any case, one thing I thought about the new cards, though, was they gave you a lot more variety in how that classified deck played. Because the previous one was almost entirely get specialist of type A to do a thing to the enemy HVT. And so it was just did you have that specialist? Did they do the thing? And so 90% of the time for those objectives, I always found myself just securing the HVT or hoping I got lucky and got one of those really easy ones like Doctor Your Own Guy or coup de grace an enemy. And now these new ones are a lot more varied in what they are, and so you're more flexible in what you want to do to accomplish them.
I got being base to base with an unconscious model with a veteran, elite, or chain of command model at the end of the game.
Right.
I had to go and look at them. What do I have? What do I have? Okay, all right. I know what I have to do.
Well, hey, at least those stats now do something after 10 years of game.
None of those stats still show up in mobile army.
Not in mobile, but they print out.
Yes.
Yeah, they print out now, which is nice. Mobile army's getting better. Another thing that came out towards the end of the year was the.
Well, we're
not
jumping
there
ahead at that point.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm talking about the app that lets you.
Comlog.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just see big C. I'm a visual person. And sorry, Mike, but so Mike Byer is the guy who designed it. And it's great. Comlog is rapidly changing and becoming essential for anybody who plays ITS play. It's fantastic. I've gotten to take a look at what his next release schedule is going to be like, and it's going to be an all-inclusive, standalone app. He's really receptive to feedback, and it shows. It's a good product, and the best thing about it is that in the group for Comlog, Heloise is part of the group, and he responds, and so he's been able to weigh in on translational errors that we had in scoring, and
I'd still like to see those fixes make it into the PDFs faster.
Yeah,
this is true.
Yep. But I don't know. I use Comlog. I don't even look at it.
But Comlog is Comlog is what I use as a reference for missions.
Yeah.
And even when I'm just playing casually, I just want to generate random. It has a random button to give me a random mission.
Right, instead of us having to go and wing it on a
Yes,
casual day of play of what mission do we want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Let's roll a die and figure out what on earth that means by flipping through the PDF.
Right.
This does make that
Yes,
easier.
it has a random mission.
Yeah. In addition to the fact that when you go to a tournament or play a set of missions, you're kind of having to, the night before or whenever you're making your list, do your homework and study and be like, oh, this is the one where it scores every other turn, so I want these kind of units. And, oh, baggage doesn't work in this mission. Oh, and so having an app that does that and give that information is a thing.
What is baggage not working?
Like some missions you don't care about baggage.
Oh, I got you.
Right? Something about having any guy there versus points.
For the victory points.
Yeah,
and that's one case where, yes, you're right, icons do help. Just having those 6 icons that show me only these apply to this mission.
Right, he's got data tracker, he's got Zeotech in there, he's got the other ones.
At a glance, do I need to put an HVT on the table without reading through 3 paragraphs of text?
Yeah. And man, we're still just in February with all this stuff.
We're still this happened about mid-year, so we're about mid-year. We're right before Tunguska drops.
And that's a big one right
there.
So
Tunguska happens before Cold Front, right? And Tunguska, the stealth release of the year. So there was this weird dry spot where we were all sitting here anticipating Gen Con, and y'all knew something big was coming for Gen Con, and then all of a sudden, the Tunguska army was.
Yeah.
And There's no fluff support. There's nothing. There's this big void out there, and
It's like they got an entry in Army, but not really a whole lot else.
a lot of support.
Well,
But I don't think that their story is done. I think that there is more product coming from Tunguska. But
they're not mentioning any of the books that were released this year, but we got the Army update, we got the starter box, we got some nice new sculpts, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, later.
Yep.
And they're a fantastically different, weird, and playable army where so many things changed, like how the how Securitate were some of the worst troops you could ever buy in the game back in the day because they were just pointed wrong, they didn't do anything.
they all have repeaters.
Now they're unique. You've got weird stuff like the puppet unit, the puppet master unit, which I am so curious at what that's going to look like because they're such a cool unit. The Zondmate that transforms from motorcycle to autonomous motorcycle, which is like
It's a chain wrap. I wish it wasn't a chain wrap. I wish it was a... Anyway, but...
your motorcycle just killed like 5 special operatives while like the guy watched. Like I don't know what to say. And then Hollow Men, like one of the biggest surprises, which people adore, who look amazing and play amazing. So many cool things out of Tunguska.
My favorite thing in Tunguska is the 18-point Stempler Zond, because it's the Fort Observing bot, and it already had Climbing Plus, but then it gets Super Jump if you get the FTO version, and you get 2 of those, and these little bastards can jump all over the board like little spiders and go wherever they want. They can land on the side, but they don't care. They're just going to get wherever you need them. And their repeater is extremely useful. So you can put in places like on the side of the building, out of way, and then something moves there, or your opponent moves into his zone of control, and your interventor gets to arrow white noise, and that helps you out. It's such a really interesting army. It's like it's real hipster friendly because it has some glaring weaknesses.
Some terrible weaknesses.
Yes.
The cheerleader issue, the lieutenant's issue.
Yep.
And they've got so many cool things that you're going to be leaving out stuff that you want to take.
Yes.
And then you've got superheroes like Mary Problems, who has everything. Every time I look at that profile, I was like, oh wait, she had this the entire time. And being,
I could have dodged at it.
I'm climbing plus, and I'm ODD, and I have both hacking devices. And then you've got our Lord and Savior Raoul Spectre, the greatest soldier in the world, who has every stat.
Releasing in February.
So if she has 2 hacking devices, does that mean that she could ARO twice with 2 different?
You choose which one you use.
Or an active turn, can I hack with 2 programs at once?
It's not dual, and there's no rule for that. Alas. Unfortunately, that'd be too cool. Of like, oh, I can actually use the hacking pose like everyone else is doing.
No, the surfing pose.
Yeah, and actually work 2 invisible keyboards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Curious what that model's going to be like, because allegedly, rumor has it that it's she's going to be like Uahu, one of the kiddos, which is going to be really weird. Yeah.
That's
See, I
such a
use
problem.
Hexer.
There you go. Hexer would be
I use the Hexer model. The thing about the last glaring weakness is that faction is extremely good at nailing high advanced units. Like you put them against any of the panosectorials, and they're going to get really good work done. The problem comes when they face Ariadna, Caledonia, and those ones, because all their physique across the board is garbage, and they have no MSV2.
No MSV2.
So smoke just immediately invalidates their ARO presence.
Sensor's not super widespread. It's got some, but not super widespread.
Like your sensor will be advancing up board because half the time it's with a link of some kind.
They made Grenzers good by making them fit into Securitate links. Shocking. Yep. Grenzer's the dark horse, the worst model in the
and then you see that fall into what happens later on with the Varuna and Emma, like really everything that came out at the end of the year.
Other milestone, somebody other than those damn mutts got the jammer.
That's right.
Because the heckler got the jammer.
Yeah. But and then he was immediately outclassed by.
Well,
Tunguska's not the only faction that's got easy access to smoke, but no access to MSV, are they?
But it's when you do it in conjunction with a really low physique. So one of the problems is move and then very little like close combat capability. So it's the idea is the smoke comes up, and then you get a 6-point Galwegian with a chain rifle, who through his own massive order pool, just ran at the board. And then he just chain rifles 4 models.
I don't know what your problem is. As far as I can tell, all you do is you field as many Krees as you can, and you just win the game, because Krees of Borax are the most ridiculous nonsense
Krees
to grace the world.
Very good. Kreese is very good.
They shoot bullets faster because they're larger. That's how it works.
More bullets.
More bullets. This gun holds 33 more bullet per bullet that it fires.
Yes.
Yeah.
33 more bullets.
And it shoots bullets that are so thick they block your vision, giving a -3 that the most advanced of sensors can't see through because there's too many bullets.
No, there's too many bullets coming at your face. So really, everything should have like a tri-barrel. Like, right? Should have a tri-barrel, right? Because it's just coming at you, and you're just like, yeah.
We shoot with both bores.
Yeah. I don't know why that came out
God
that way.
damn, Kreese.
I don't have the crazy like one man like show stopping that you get out of them. I don't get that much.
I don't know. My Kreese is all you do is you play peekaboo. When it's your turn, your dude runs out there, sprays bullets, doesn't care, 360 no scopes people, then hides in a closet once the other guy's turn, and then that's the key. Yeah. Just and you get 2 of them. So if you really want to go that way, you got your 2, and you can do all the other dumb things. Be like, oh, you have a visor, white noise, Kreese a Borak, have fun.
I did do that to Michael.
Things you can do.
It just doesn't help when that damn NSC2 is always in a 5-man link. So then Tunguska came out, and Tunguska has some question marks sitting around with it as far as model release, as far as fluff, which lends me to believe that the story or Tunguska coming up in the release schedule is maybe not done.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
the lack of strong fluff does make me think.
Not the lack. There's nothing.
There's a PDF of fluff of the existing units they released, and that's it.
But it's just an army list.
Right, it's an army list. There's a fluff PDF for those army units.
Oh, is there a fluff?
Which, like most army entries in Infinity, goes and shows of why this unit are the greatest badass in the world and can take down like 10 times their number, but are CC12 or whatever, and yeah.
So after Karage,
and after Tunguska, right? Then because
third offensive was at Gen Con, right?
That was at Gen Con. So third offensive.
Third offensive was not at Gen Con. Cold Front was at Gen Con.
Right.
Which the mention of the book. Because the book didn't come out until like November.
Yeah, it was like pre-orders.
Yeah,
that's right.
Because that's at Gen Con. I remember when they were showing off all the hype, new previews, and they're like, "Hey guys, what faction's going to get tons of love?" And you had the little cartoon of the Toha guy going.
Yes, that's the best. That is the best cartoon.
Like the Imperial, like the Yujing Invincible, who's like, don't even talk to us about how this year went.
Pissy.
He's still mad about Japan. And then like the Hawk Islam guy being like, why isn't Rama Task Force a thing? Because that's what we know that the Red Veil Hawk set is going to be like the core of. Yeah. And then boom, #1 faction, Pano gets all sorts of things. You got.
Oh my goodness.
You got the Varuna super spooky.
Every single Pano sectorial got redone in the book.
Yeah.
It is. Some people said it's a Pano book, and I tried to argue them, but then I realized
that was third offensive, right? So at Gen Con we had Cold Front. We had Cold Front. We had Dart.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Dart.
And we had the new Aristea box.
Yep.
And the Rocket Hammer werewolf thing.
Yeah, we got the advanced pack also for Cold Front.
Advanced pack.
With the Asura and the Strelok with Puppy.
The Asura, right.
So, so I was at Gen Con on the CV booth. I sat up in front where all of the hundreds of thousands of people walked by. I had every single big box out, and I would just like wave them like a, like, come on, come and get your models, come over here, hey, you look like a weebo, come on over here.
Like,
and affecting all these
mating calls.
Yep. I'm like, hey, you like scared cat girls? Get over here, I got an army for you.
So Lieutenant level 2 became a thing.
A lot of Drew, and that made that super useful. A lot of people walked by, and they were super stoked about that badass chick with the dog in the artwork hanging above the booth, which is the awesome Strelok art for the new Strelok of this tough chick who's got the little skull edgelord mask, but she's like, screw you guys, I'm hanging out with this 600-pound wolf man, and we're a team that goes and says, screw you camouflage in like a humongous radius.
That piece of art, it was really great. It was fun.
I'm sorry for your like 12 when you walk on or whatever.
It was up behind me. So he had the Aristea release, and the box for Aristea was Human Fate. Is that right?
Yeah.
And it was an all-female box.
Yeah.
And then
with Best Girl Prism.
And then almost all of the advanced stuff, and all the artwork behind me was all women. And I had one customer who I sold some stuff to, she came up and she goes, I don't know what this game is, but I walked along and I see these badass chicks behind you, and I want to know what's going on. I said, well, this is a good game for that. Yeah, because it was Street Lock. It was the advanced pack artwork with the Street Lock and the Ashura, and then some of the girls from Human Fate. And that was a really positive thing. I talked to CB afterwards. Like, we didn't even really notice that the artwork back there was like that. We just picked what our favorite artwork was and put it up there. And they're like, we're really glad that it worked out, and people seem to enjoy it.
That could totally.
But they did plan. Yeah, they did plan. No, why? They did plan to have there was an all guy Airstay box, and they wanted an all girl Airstay. They planned it out. Yeah. So Gen Con was really fun. We got Talk, which I don't know. Our meta is different, right? So we don't have a lot of Ariadne players. I don't know why.
I mean, I think it's called courtesy.
We're Californians. We're really considerate.
We're good people, so we don't play Ariadne. Well, I play Ariadne, but most people don't play Ariadne because they're good people.
We ask you to bring Ariadne sometimes because we want to stake.
Tony, please bring Ariadne.
You know, the thing is, this is a miniatures game.
Yes.
I play it to bring miniatures to the table.
Yes.
When I play Ariadne, I bring chits to the table that occasionally turn into miniatures.
You play Ogre.
I play. Guess who? What is this? Oh, I'm sorry. It's a mine. Try again.
Fooled you.
But TAC was a great release. Those models are gorgeous
across the board. Really,
I think that goes for the whole entire year.
There is
all of the models.
One not beautiful one, and that's a S5 model.
You don't like the Ratnik? You don't like strapping this alcoholic Russian into power armor and giving him a hammer and a shotgun and a pistol that all have the same range band?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like that one. I don't like the profile.
But what is a rocket hammer?
It's a rocket hammer. I don't know why you're questioning this. It's a hammer with a rocket on the back.
I bet if you go and YouTube it, some dudes in Russia in a local YouTube version of what can we invent, we'll just show you this rocket hammer they built. And
I'll leave it to them to leave the comments and tell me where I can find a rocket hammer.
Right there.
Or Florida.
That's true.
So. Or if you watch FPS, because that guy's hilarious. The Russian who lives in Georgia and does all these weird gun stuff. Oh, he's a pretty funny guy.
TAC was great.
TAC was great. What did we think about OS?
A lot of people have been waiting for that.
Yeah, I played Rumble that year with vanilla. I played with Vedic vanilla ALF pre-OS. So when OS came out,
I was looking forward to it for a really long time, but I think that was the point in the year where I just sort of went into model overload and just sort of shut down and stopped trying to learn about all the new profiles. And because nobody locally was really playing OSS after that,
Well, you don't play me. Because I don't want to play ninjas.
Right.
I don't play against ninjas.
But, yeah, I stopped trying to learn what a difference was between a Shukra and a, Rudra.
Apsara.
Yeah, the Apsara, yeah.
Well, excuse me, but if you were up to date on your Hindu mythology, you would know the difference because they represent the. So, oh my God, the Vedic era. But OSS, they had great models though that came out. They turned the Dakini into these spindly Evangelion things that were made of 17 pieces into burly football mans with flat faces, which were kind of cool. New Deva. New Asura.
No, all of the models were spot on, beautiful. I bought them all, love them. I just haven't played with them yet.
They're powerful. They're good. Really they have a unique play style, and that play style is look at how good I am at everything.
Yep.
Dakini Link teams with HMGs are terrifying. Yadu have a weapon for everything, and that model with the poncho and the faceless visor is so cool.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
I really like the basic Yadu and the NCO Yadu are put together so much fun. Those are the best. I think those are the best Yadu.
And that introduced Lieutenant Level 2, like you had mentioned before, Eric, and NCO with the
Which
Yadu.
we didn't know what it did.
We didn't know it worked
until Third Offensive came out a couple months later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Lieutenant Level 2 was a huge game changer.
Yep. Because then we would see it later, and Third Offensive came out, and IA was in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And so IA, from at least the paper version of IA came out.
Yeah.
With Third Offensive, and what else happened in Third Offensive? We had the Pano reimagining happen.
Yeah.
The big Pano
every
shakeup?
sectoral got a thing.
Yep.
Like, what is it? Akon got Dart, and they got modifications of Tusser because Tusser changed.
Yes, he did.
Military
Marksmanship Level 2
orders.
changed.
Marksmanship 2 changed.
Marksmanship X, I'm sorry.
Like military orders got completely revamped. We
redone.
got Varuna, and we have loyal, trustworthy human agent Ada Swanson in NCA.
NCA, yes.
Yeah.
Everybody got some love in Pano in this book, and that's really funny. And I think that's kind of a harken back to them winning Wotan. And whatever, that's great. I mean, you win, you get cool stuff. It's just going to be it's sucky when you don't win for many years and you're like, power curves.
So this means we're predicting the next model, the next sectorials, officially I'm sure, to be what? Scholar Haima, and then Earth Bastion Army, and then at that point CB explodes and we just have like 7 Pano sectorials.
Well, Pano is not going to be Earth Bastion though, because Earth is still like
they got Earth, everyone has Earth armies in the fluff in the books.
Everybody has it. Everybody has a presence,
Has
right?
an Earth army.
So it's not a Pano thing, but Sorheim is definitely still out there. They're fifth.
Maybe at that point they'll retire ISS and make them an NA2 also.
Yeah. So let's see. So third offensive came out, and we had
We lost MRF.
we lost MRF earlier in the year. We lost Akon with third offensive.
With the production being reduced, but they're still playable with modifications.
Yeah,
MRF got a very important update of their fire team options, making mixed fire teams again really come to the forefront, which is the theme of pretty much every new sectoral, like a major theme.
Mixed fire teams are
because
huge.
they realized it's a bad idea to make it so that you had to pack 3 Asuras together in like a fire team.
Yes.
Yeah.
3 Asuras in a fire team would make anybody's heart stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, get to like fill out the rest of their army. And then let's see. I'm just trying not to say the word Morat, but Morat's got an update, a very interesting update. In a chapter about Shasvasti, the army list that comes at the end is a Morat army list. So it's just, I'm going to let you guys kind of think about that for a minute. But
You got a bunch of new sculpts in Morats.
no, you didn't.
No,
There's the
Raicho.
Kurgat and
the new
Raicho and Moraz,
the new Raicho with new profile that makes the Raicho into a very unique unit.
See, the new Raicho profile is awesome because it is a toolbox tag, and we don't have those, right?
Yeah.
Well, you do. The Tick Belong was a toolbox tag,
Yeah, right.
right? And then now you
it's
get
the
the
same
Raicho.
way, where you somebody's sticking their head up, you gun them down with tag machine gun bullets.
Yep.
Someone's keeping their head down, you throw mines at them,
And then you shoot it.
and then you walk up them, and then you shotgun them
With a
which
heavy
is
shotgun.
way better than a flamethrower for most of those cases.
On BS-20.
And it's a tag that's good in the open. It's a tag that's good indirect fire. It's a tag good at door kicking.
Yeah.
And
It's
every other tag
super
lost
aggressive.
their flamethrower. What tag
No,
was it that
no.
lost their flamethrower?
Only
It
the
was-
cutter.
oh, no.
The cutter
For
lost his
Varuna,
flamethrower.
because-
Right.
Because the cutter can't have nice things.
It got it's done, some interesting things happening. And
That was
and
the
it's
Marcus.
AJ2 and
Yeah.
and Varuna. Varuna came out, and Varuna is like one of the most powerful sectorials that are out there right now.
It's
because
scary.
it is filled with BS-13 models.
BS-13 mimetism models everywhere.
Everything is like everything.
Everything's just harder to hit and shoots you better.
And the shape of water is in it as a cameo,
Right.
as neural cinetic, decoy, camouflage,
Right.
HELOT militia, which is amazing.
And that are just there. There are road bumps. They have generally 24-inch ranges, but they're all over the place. You can hide them in all kinds of places. They allow a Pano sectorial to play the shell game, which really doesn't exist for them in any other capacity. Really strong. BS-13 mimetism everywhere. And it's all like sub 30 points.
Yeah. Zulu Cobras, Echo Bravos.
High
Auto
availability.
Acronyms, all of it.
Prejudiced?
Well, we have probably one of the best Pano players in the world. I know that Michael's not here tonight. And Varuna has been his love child for many, many years.
And he hasn't been playing it
just
long,
got
but he
it.
plays it very, very well.
Played him the other night. So
Varuna, back in the day when I started playing in like 2010 or something, they got me in the game because they had Kamau out and they had Cutter out, and you had the old Kamau hacker who's like hacking behind her back and breaking her back, the old Kamau light grenade launcher who had the cool little water jet, and the Cutter, which was the best tag sculpt for like 5 years.
Still a really good one.
And dominated N2.
Still only an S6, but
Yeah. It's still really
there's
good.
an S6 tag as a profile.
So they made out like bandits. And then for whatever reason, the bike Montesas, they got bike Montesas for some reason.
Well, they had Montez's before, so Montez's are still working there, right?
Well,
Yeah.
they added to Bruna, right? Like,
yeah,
why do you have this jungle maniac on a motorcycle with a shotgun and a sword in your like faction of Navy SEAL dudes who are
and Dart's there, right?
and no, Dart is hanging out in military orders for some reason.
Yeah, she's working with the church. She's working in Acon.
Yeah, Dart gets around. Dart is in more panosectorals than she is in alosectorals.
Well, there's only one, two, right? So
Yeah.
oh yeah,
she does.
I still love that OSS gets the much better version of Andromeda.
Than Steel Phalanx. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Andromeda received her rightful buff.
Oh,
Just 9 Steel Phalanx. Sorry,
I think
sorry,
she's
Achilles.
decent. I think she's decent. I've got her in my OSS list that I keep like 37 points to do whatever I want with. So I haven't tried the Andromeda.
Well, I don't want to fat shame, but S4, I don't like it.
If you go
So
first, it doesn't
F4.
matter.
That's true too. That is true.
I don't care about it. So so that was let's see.
That was Gen Con.
That was
No,
Gen Con and
third
the meeting
offensive.
of Bruna.
Yep.
Talked about Bruna. Talked about Morats, which folks know I'm a pretty vocal Morat player. I've taken them a lot of places and done pretty well in tournaments with them.
And the biggest surprise in third offensive, I'd say.
The biggest surprise, because why are they there? So some of the things about Morats, there are pros and cons about it. I think they got some interesting things. I think they got buffs in places they didn't need buffs, and I think they didn't get buffs in places where they desperately needed buffs. I think the Sogarat is pretty rad. I think the full auto Sogarat is
He can buy
really
full
rad.
auto for 10 points.
For 10 points.
And it's pretty cool.
Yep.
You can shoot that Feuerbach a little faster.
That's a cool one, they were great models, but two, that's a cool profile to put it on.
It's a really cool profile. Like, I've seen the argument, which makes a lot of sense, which is for 10 points, you're kind of strapping the whole fire team to him. Because he gets +1 burst for having 3 members.
Right.
You don't get 6 cents, of course. But he gets -3, he gives -3 to his opponents, because he's full auto level 2, which is kind of comparable in a way to +3 from having a 5-man. They're kind of similar.
Yeah.
And so you get a lot of very similar benefits for only 10 points.
Yep.
Make him very attractive. Oh no, did he go down to gunfire? I guess I'll heal myself on a 15?
If you popped out, if you're popping out and shooting on the active turn, which is something you probably should be doing anyway as a general attack, and you're going to end up behind cover, and then you have a 75% chance to pull
heal
yourself
yourself.
back up with an order, jump back out, and try to gun that thing down again.
Please go through my armor 9 and cover once more, and I'll just heal myself back up again.
I was looking at it because I was thinking back to my game against Michael, playing against that MSV2 Kamau. You pull out around the corner with that guy. He's 3 shots on 10s, and the Kamau is 2 shots on 13s.
I think that MSV2 Kamau is currently the best shooter in the entire game because nobody else gets link bonuses, BS16 with link bonuses, mimetism, and has MSV2 to ignore the opponent's mods.
Right.
So she's a real pain to do.
That's a lot of mods.
That makes you want 0. That makes you want an HD plus.
Yeah.
You want that white noise.
True suffering is watching one of our locals the other day play JSA versus Varuna and being like, sweet, my best guy is hitting you on like 4s and you're hitting me like 16s on my turn.
His job is to you have to get up in their face.
Yeah.
They are very bad at that, but they can protect themselves really well on the way in. And it's really easy to play 16, 17 order lists with a ton of BS13 models that are going to outshoot, knock anything off with mimetism mods. That's ridiculous. Anyway.
So the December new releases.
Well, not before that. There's one more thing we missed.
What did we
Third
miss?
offensive. We missed the proper army of the emperor.
Oh,
Chinese emperor, as opposed to this other fake treasonous emperor.
We don't talk about them.
Yeah.
So IA paper came out, and talking with Carlos a long time ago, his idea was, something they were playing with is like, look, we want to make the ultimate limited insertion army. Everybody knew that IA was going to be a heavy infantry focused force. I love the fluff associated with it because it's very propagandist. Like every man.
Do you want to know more, sir, citizen?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
they're
Starship Troopers.
They are heavy.
And they did it, and they did it in really interesting ways. The link team variability is fantastic. It's on par with military orders.
It's a very integrated force.
Yeah. Then you got Man,
Just
then you got
so
Lu
many.
Jing.
You have so many weird
units.
order tricks, which
Yeah.
make it so that it's like they're organized better, and that's why they're efficient, and they play differently from military orders because of the way that you can go and say, like, my 10 models generate 16 orders.
Right.
Your turn. Come at me.
Right.
My-
and you
my
can't
theory-
take any orders away from
My
them.
theory is that everyone in Yu Jing is just better at taking orders.
I think that's valid. And MO becomes, even though with its like super modularity now and some really interesting builds, and I'm building mine right now and I'm really excited to play them because they were everything I wanted when I tried them. I actually traded my Morats for an entire MO force because I hated MO back in the day.
But I mean, just the whole
The
idea
order efficiency is
of
totally different.
wild card troopers being added into linked teams
Yeah.
and mixed links for everyone, but specifically NCO and
Tactical
wild
awareness.
card, tactical awareness, NCO,
and lieutenant
and
level
wild cards. Yeah, like the fact that almost every army got one or more of those elements was,
Yeah.
I think, great because it meant that again everybody's still playing with the same rules. I think it was just brought the rules up to one more level towards real integrated forces. And why aren't these guys training together?
I'd be curious, Eric, if they go and retrofit some of those orders into those like new rules into the older sectorals.
Yep.
So
That's what I
like
was thinking.
classic ones would be like those models that are supposed to be like good officers of some kind that are kind of not really taken.
Hafsa.
Could get like Havza, for example, Aquilas. Could they get Lieutenant 2? Could somebody get NCO?
Yeah.
Those are little ways to make certain units that previously weren't that attractive suddenly very attractive without necessarily changing their like combat stats.
A lieutenant level 2 Aquila HMU
Yeah.
is a suddenly that goes from a some people use it to that's a good model.
Right. But I guess for Imperial Invincible Army though, like one part of it was I always thought was interesting was that people were surprised that they were one wound guys who had all sorts of ways to cheat the point system by being like, I'm one wound bioimmunity.
Right.
So which like with no wound cap.
Yeah.
So I'm effectively 2 wounds at all times, but I am cheaper by the CV pricing scheme.
Right. I saved like 8 points.
Right.
Oh, great.
These Liu Xing, they're either amazing, overpowered things, or they're trash who should have been Tiger Soldiers. Or,
I'd still like
I
to
have
see
no
them
idea.
trim a little bit of the fat. I still think we're getting a lot of new rules that are very, very close to each other. Like, why is number 2 in Chain of Command still 2 different skills?
Those at least do different things. What gets me is full auto, fatality,
Well, that's-
marksmanship. All these things are about I shoot my bullets better, and they improve your chances of killing people by shooting bullets at them. They probably could be streamlined in some way.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting a lot of
Or
new
marksman.
rules.
Marksman.
Marksman level X or Marksman level 2. I guess, and there are some people who are definitely out there calling for there to be a new edition. I don't know.
Well-
It's hard for me to look at necessarily objectively because even with new players, the way that we scale, we haven't run into like a major problem with that overall for our new players.
We got 4 new Spec Ops models this year, but the Spec Ops rules
Wait,
are...
which Spec Ops?
JSA got their own dedicated
JSA got
Spec
one.
Ops.
Yeah.
Grunt Spec Ops.
Yeah. Invincible Army got their own Spec Ops.
Did they?
They got a new
No.
Spec Ops guy, right?
No, I don't think they didn't get a model for that.
No.
They're still using Zanchi's.
Wait, what's the one that's in the can?
Oh, they have the
can-
characters. They have the characters, which is.
Oh, that's right. They got a name. They got a model for their name Spec Ops. Right.
Which I don't think we know if it's a male or female yet.
Oh, Tai Sheng. Yeah, I think it's a guy.
Do you?
Yeah, but whatever the case, Tai Sheng's a badass. When I was playing a proxy game with Invincible Army, Tai Sheng having to pack like the Tin Bot, the Mark 12, Chain of Command, gonna pump 16 orders into you and your fire
And he's
team.
an NCO.
And he's an NCO.
Yeah.
So like those Dao Ying Lieutenant Level 2 camouflage orders from somewhere in the backfield are going straight into this boy. And
Yeah.
So did they make NCO a legal choice now for Spec Ops, or is he
No,
just
he's a character.
a named
No,
character?
He's a named
that happens
character.
to have it? Okay.
Who has it? Yeah. So, but he's great just because he's a Zuyong with different kit.
Yeah.
In a faction where you're already building Lego fire teams out of drones and Yanquos and other stuff, which is ridiculous.
But there were some other Spec Ops models right? For
there was the
for TAC.
no
No,
new
just-
models. No new
Oh,
models.
okay.
Yeah.
I think only 2 because we don't have. I mean, we only have one.
It was
brawler.
Candy Cloud, which
Well,
was
those
Tai
are the
Sheng,
dire
and
foes.
Those are the dire
the Dire Foes. Right.
Well, one thing though is that was interesting is that they came up with the new Keisotsu Spec Ops in
Yep.
the Army Pack, and they released them separately. They released at some point the new Grunt Spec Ops. But Spec Ops are kind of a rule set that's kind of lingered without a lot of love for a while.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, what are they going to do
And then
with
they're doing a general release of the case.
The Keisatsu got their own box.
No. The general release of the one that's in here.
The Keisatsu Spec Ops.
The Keisatsu.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
And they've got the release that came with the box.
Right.
Then they've got a release coming out next month.
Right. Which I already ordered.
This month.
I ordered it already.
With interchangeable arms for either a Spitfire or the Dr. Medic.
Yep.
Which is very cool.
Yep.
Because it's a rad model.
I thought it was awesome.
I think it's a great brawler.
That's right. We saw our one brawler in Cold Front.
One brawler.
Looks awesome.
Finally got a model for the brawler.
I hope the brawler is a Spec Ops. I hope the brawler gets Spec Ops.
Yeah.
Right?
No, the brawler came with Uprising.
Yes.
The War Driver came with Cold Front. They look the same, kind of.
They
look
do
great.
really
They look great.
similar, yeah.
They look great.
The War Driver is great.
Yeah.
I don't know why people complain about it. You get 6 cents level 1, which is what you need.
Ton of style. You got a shotgun.
But you get a hacker and you get 6 cents level 1, right? That's important.
I like the War Driver.
But people have their opinions about stuff. So the
so much stuff.
So much stuff. 2018 was absolutely crazy bananas. Then let's see. So we did that. We did 29. What's that?
What's next?
Yeah, 2019. This year's next. So we're in this year. 2019.
The future.
Yeah.
2019.
So this month we know that we get the IA box. So that is the first end of the year.
Last month we had the Varuna box.
Right. But no, we're in 2019 now.
Yeah.
The future. We have Motorcycle 1112.
Motorcycle 1112 is coming.
Oh.
The
Yeah.
profile's still not out.
Yeah.
Very curious to see what that is. And did you see who did the sculpting for it?
No.
It's actually the sculpting. The sculptor is listed on there, and it's the sculptor that they used before who ran away with a lot of the stylistic stuff.
The Unfinity.
Oh, I think Operation. I think Carlos called it Operation Ripoff.
Operation Ripoff. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are cool
That's
models.
the
Those
guy
are cool models.
Who did that?
Okay.
It says because it lists him as the sculptor. Listed.
It looks great because I do know that they outsourced and contracted out other 3D sculptors for like the original Ice Storm 3D sculpts, which you can see like renders that the original artists have posted online, and it makes perfect sense. There's a lot of talent out there in that like area.
It's great. The thing that like a lot of people are saying they don't like the 112 because they're like, why is this fireman on here with a pointy hat and it doesn't fit into my aesthetic and this that, and another. I'm like, okay, I don't know what to help you with. Because it looks very much like the previous.
I'm sorry, sir. I care about the integrity of my army with werewolves and drunk Scotsmen hanging out with like Russian stereotypes and cowboys. So I just list like half the Overwatch characters.
Poor MRF and Caledonia.
I don't know. I think the model looks cool. I like that he looks like very proud and very aquiline featured. I think it's a good looking model. Curious to see what it does. If it takes a cheap model and keeps it cheap.
Are we going to see it on the table at LVO?
Like a surprise support?
Well, are they going to be out by
they
LVO?
might be. Somebody might actually.
They're out this month.
They might have it in time ready. You never know.
Yeah. So
that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So the first tournament of the year is a month from today, or in a couple days. I'll be flying out there early. Is going to be the Las Vegas Open.
Wow.
And for those of you, I'll be running the tournament. We're at about 40 players now. It's the first satellite of this calendar year, which will be fun. So for those of you guys who don't know, a satellite is where the winner gets a ticket to attend the Interplanetary. And if you don't know, the Interplanetary is the big tournament in Spain. It's also can be pretty tough to get a ticket. So this
is it invitational?
What gets you into that top 32.
Right,
so what's cool about it gets into that invitational.
So you skip like the pool. You skip like the pool rounds.
So there's everybody else. So like the other 90 people have to fight for one spot, and then everybody else has won something major, and they automatically get into the top, and that's where it gets real brutal. So you'll get your spot into that. That's fantastic. You get this beautiful model that we had a local painter and sculptor Obadiah put together. And it is a Eugene Carlos, and there's an entire backstory about Carlos being a punished Eugene. What do you call it?
So he'll be perfect in my invincible army.
Pheasant soldier who got turned into a Quang Shi after the uprising debacle. So so
we can blame him
you
for
can
uprising?
Punish Carlos. A man denied his country.
It's funny, funnily enough, how that man sits up on a cross by so many for that. So you come to Las Vegas Open and you're going to get that. You're going to get a shot with some of the best players on the West Coast. We have some of my favorite people coming. Is Tony? You'll be there. You're going to play?
I'll be there. I'll play some casual pickup games, but I'm doing other stuff that.
Yeah,
that
you are.
event.
Yeah, you got your game being released.
I've got a Kickstarter I'm launching at that event. That's separate.
Your Kickstarter's coming out. I'll just talk about it.
Oh,
yeah, it'll be fun.
Shameless plug time.
Yes.
Fast forward if you don't want shameless plug. So I'm launching a little book, kind of like this, of a game called Zone Raiders, which is a skirmish game designed for use of any minis you might happen to own in like the sci-fi genre. And the idea, unlike Infinity, where it's kind of like a very competitive tactical game, this is a narrative, semi-competitive campaign game where you have kind of squads of guys you build, you name them, you give them unique abilities, you get them equipment in like the dark future inspired by like Battle Angel Alita, Blame, XCOM, all sorts of inspirations, and like Horizon Zero Dawn, all sorts of stuff like that. And you play campaigns against your friends and see where the heck that goes with co-op play and a few other options. So a little change of play pace from the kind of tight, detailed setting of Infinity to something a little bit more user-generated. And so that's what I'll be trying to debut at the LVO.
Scroll down for a link.
So no, and I'm excited because I've helped you beta test it since early on, and it's fun. I've never played campaign systems before, and it's quite enjoyable. I actually liked it a lot, but I also like XCOM, and I hate it when people die. So so the Las Vegas Open, you'll be debuting that. We've got the Carlos model that's going to be there. It's a satellite tournament, and it's 30 days away. I would recommend that you buy your tickets and attend.
It's Las Vegas. It's like, why would you not want to go to Vegas for the weekend?
So some of the things that I redesigned the format this year, if you had come to previous Las Vegas Opens, I do 2 days of some of the most challenging gaming that you can find in the world by putting together essentially in 24 hours you play 8 games. Well, really in 36 hours you play 8 games.
But this year you switched it up so that we have time.
I did. So what I did is based off some user or some attendee feedback, people were like, I came to Vegas, but I didn't get to go too much of Vegas because a lot of people go on Sunday. And they're like, hey, we want to do more Vegas stuff. So I said, okay, cool. So I turned it into one 5-round tournament, and the first 2 days are going to be the first 2 days, which are on Friday, 4 hours of gaming and objective room-based missions, and then we're going to go out that night and we're going to rage. The next day we're going to come in at about 9 o'clock.
Properly hung over for that tournament, for the extra challenge.
For the extra challenge, right?
That's the actual extreme classified.
I think you're going to be giving out a lot of buys that morning.
And then we've got, I hope not.
Have a drink in your opponent's deployment zone.
Yes.
Oh.
Challenge drink him at 9 in the morning. And then it's going to be Power Pack and Firefight.
Give somebody an extra...
acquisition.
An extra... extra reinforcement model.
I'm not doing anything. It's still hard.
Every 20 minutes my opponent's late, I get an extra model held for reinforcement.
But it's only going to be about 6 hours worth of tournament, and then it's going to be Saturday night, so we're going to go back out. Gives us plenty of time to go do some stuff, hit up some maybe awesome taco places, some sushi places, maybe see a show. Sunday we're going to go do some things like
tacos and sushi. What could go wrong?
Not at the same time. I mean, if you're man. There's
we live in the Bay Area. Next to my office, a place called Sushirito, where they've combined burritos and sushi.
Oh yeah, that's super weird.
Yeah,
it's super weird.
It's a thing.
Sushi burrito.
So and then Sunday, I think we're going to go shooting. We're going to go back out to Battlefield Vegas and bring your money with you so you can shoot whatever you want. There's one package called the SOCOM package.
The machine gun.
Your wife did the 50 cal heavy machine gun with my wife last year, and amazing. Not many people get to feel the visceral joy that comes with going on using a 50 caliber heavy machine gun in real life, and I do mean a visceral joy. And the ladies liked it a lot. I know
she loved it.
This man is mentally rolling crits right now, thinking back on how he's firing his machine gun.
I'm like, my wife was pretty. So the
See, full auto right there.
I did. So so we've got a lot of fun stuff planned for both before, during, and after. Carlos, unfortunately, is not going to be able to make it this year, but we are going to have
Angels
many,
coming?
many small stand-ins. You know what? He won't commit. He
Oh,
won't
really?
commit to me. Yeah,
That's weird.
No, it's because Angel's big time now. Since he's moved and he's no longer
There's a lot of commissions for a lot of folks right now.
I thought he was going to do the lectures. No?
It's up on the thing. But
Oh.
I haven't talked to Angel for a
There's
couple
still
months.
plenty of other lectures to go.
Yeah, there's a lot of painting.
We have a couple of guys that just go for the painting.
Yeah. So also there's going to be, because the shorter rounds and the shorter periods allows more people to go to more painting and,
Yes.
and hobby
I remember
aspect
that.
stuff. So the LVO is going to be fantastic. We've got Danger Rose coming up from Panama, which I'm very excited for because I love Panama and I can't wait to go back down to Panama with a local and play with those guys. And tickets are really cheap right now. And then Michael's going to be there, and Michael Talarbra, and he's going to be great. Polynicus, Ruben's going to be there. We've got folks coming in from all over the place, and an amazingly strong showing of excellent players. So if you really want an opportunity to play some of the best in North America, the Las Vegas Open is an easy place to attend. And then let's see, about a month after Las Vegas Open, we're all flying out to Mallorca for the European Infinity Championship, which hit 120 in an hour in sales.
I think they're at 160 now?
They're at some ridiculous number.
Yeah, they got a waiting list a mile long.
They have 2 tournaments for Infinity going on. At
There's
the same time.
a serious and a casual.
There's a serious and there's a casual. So EIC is going to be on the island of Mallorca. For those of you who don't know, Mallorca is an island off the coast of Spain. Closest
for resorts and all sorts of fun stuff.
Mediterranean.
It's near. You're going to fly really into Barcelona, and then move from Barcelona into there. And Barcelona is one of my favorite cities in Europe. I've been about 6 times.
I've never been there.
It's
I'm
great.
going to go snorkeling and eating great food and getting massages and then playing miniatures and then,
and working on our Spanish. We got to work on our Spanish.
I guess we do.
Okay.
See?
Please be nice to us.
So it's going to be it's a satellite tournament as well, and that'll be a lot of fun. The format that we're participating in,
It's crazy.
is
400
point 2 combat group Soldiers of Fortune tournament. And one of the big ways that we've been looking at this is not only what are we going to bring, because we're not like you and we have like one army.
I'll be taking JSA. I mean,
Right.
that's what I play.
And it's right, and that's what you play. So it's easy for you, and you can structure that. For us,
No,
we
it's
have
not easy. It's really hard.
Run more ninjas. Run more ninjas.
More ninjas.
Get in that third or fourth Oniwaban equivalent, like throw in Saito and Shinobu. And
Yeah, there's probably going to be 8 or 9 ninjas.
But then you can take, Musashi.
You know what you can also take?
Or you can take 2 Musashi.
The Musashi Harris. I'm looking really hard at the Musashi Harris.
You could have also, if it only wasn't for 2 combat groups, taken a Keisotsu platoon against whoever was there and be like, here's 40 men.
I considered it, but it's only 2 combat men.
Yeah, alas,
I can't do
that's
it.
the downside.
You're like a chain rifle from losing like 20
Well,
guys. They all just fold.
I brought
can
my
do
40k
30
army into this game.
I can do 20 HMG Keisotsus.
Get out of here. So
You heard it first.
and so we have a huge diversity that we play. So we've been having a lot of talks, like, I don't know.
Soldiers of Fortune just throws everything in the pot.
Oh, yeah.
You've got so many choices.
options.
In the mission set, for those of you who are like, well, you can't decide till you have the missions. The mission set is primarily zonal control missions. So
It's a lot of points moving around the table.
They have Eric likes it, but they have one called Catch 'em All, which is a custom rescue style mission that's very much like supplies deployment of 4, not supplies.
It's rescue, but where both players are trying to rescue the same 4 civilians.
Yeah.
So it's really run out and catch the civilian. It's catch them all like
That's the
Pokemon, right?
Symbiomate.
So they're called them symbio
Symbiomons?
Symbiomons. Yeah, there's something. No, symbio mascots.
Is that the
It's
black
called-
N?
yeah, it's
Are we playing
Symbio
Infinity
mascot.
Go where you're catching symbiomates?
But
you
yes.
run around.
Oh my god.
So
Anyway.
there's 4 symbiomates
Gonna go?
out there, and you have to run out and
We gotta
catch
work
them.
on the name.
And so it's a modified rescue, but like you said, with the other.
But the supremacy deployment.
Yeah.
So where the Pokemon are the central objective in each of the quadrants.
They're still translating the rules. We don't have the final rules yet. They're supposed to be out next week.
In Anglais.
We'll wing
Yeah,
Yeah.
English, yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. So knowing that mission set that's going to be zone of control, there's a lot of in Soldiers of Fortune. There's a lot of conversations about both what we'll bring that would be best suited and what we should expect to face. I talked to some folks like Gavin out in Australia, who's a former MO player, and he's like, "Oh man, this is just made for Joan."
Light rain with a chance of Yon Yon.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love some Yon Yon. They're my favorite
Yum
profile in the
Yums.
game.
There's going to be a few Yan Yan.
Yeah. And so 75
And there's going to be a lot of Joan.
Yeah. Caledonia can do it too, though, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wallace.
Everybody who can't bring Joan is going to bring Wallace.
Yeah. So that's been a lot of. So what's your leading army thought?
This one's hard.
Yeah.
I might do a Joan list of some kind because she's amazing.
Yeah.
I might do Varuna with 400 points of mercenary goodies and other things. Or I might go to some flavor of Ariadna because when you have 400 points, there's a lot of guys on the board.
Yeah.
And they'll die unless they're invisible and they're ambushing you and bad things are happening to you. So those are all, I think, some pretty good options. I have yet to figure that out. If only ninjas didn't smell delicious to all these antipodes.
Yeah.
Which in TAC are AVA 2 for antipode packs.
Yeah.
And they can cover the entire board with sensor. So, yeah.
I'm thinking about Starco is up there because there are going to be packed deployment zones and packed DZs, and there's nothing funner than putting Emily onto a board and hitting 4 guys with EM shots, and that's great. I really like
and
that.
she can hang out. You can upgrade those Augusils to Riot Girls, the best heavy infantry in the game.
I looked. I don't like it. It doesn't do what I want it to do.
Okay.
We'll talk more about it.
I mean, objectively, you're free to be wrong, but that's your freedom.
No, they are great. They are great, but I can't build them into a 400-point list that I like.
Ah.
That was my problem. They're actually, I use a 300-point list that I like them, but for some reason at 400 points it doesn't jive.
Yeah, with 400 points, you can't bring very much cheap stuff.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you're limited to only 2
Right.
oracles.
So if you're going to bring 4 Yon Yon, right, that means what you really need is a 12 to 16 order list that then has 4 Yon Yon.
Yeah.
But you need to you need to be able to punch at 400 points. Really, your 400 points is that.
Yes.
That's your
yeah.
12 core.
You've got to have
Yeah.
390
that's what it's gotta be.
points worth of 12 models.
Right.
Well, it's 4 Yon Yons, and you take the D8 ones because that's the smart way to take his, 9 times 4 is 36. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some other spooky choice I can think of, like,
You can't do 9 Londons.
You can't double up on
availability.
availability.
So
In the
that was
rules
one of the rules that they changed is Soldiers of Fortune. But what they did was any profile that's got the same name in your regular sectorial army AVA list and mercenary list, you can take one but not the other. So you can't double up on things like that.
Right.
I could see a really spooky Imperial Service list where you're bringing all 8 Guangxi and then wherever the heck you want, and you got plenty of orders for everything.
Oh man, yeah. I like you max out your
And just
Sujans.
nothing but
That's right.
CN.
They have duo, right?
Duo Sujans, that's like, look at this pile of decadence that you
Yeah.
put in front of me.
But I mean, that list is like begging for Sun Tzu at that point. Like,
You got points, throw in goodies.
yeah.
So Starco, I think, is a really strong contender for a lot of the banana stuff you can do. The fact that you can get across the board no matter what, because you have Uhahu with HD+, you have Senior Massacre with Zero
Eclipse,
Viz,
yeah,
with
with
Eclipse,
Smoke.
and then you have a bunch of Jaguars with Smoke. It makes it very, very easy to get what you want and to get your models where you want them to go. You have camouflage options. With Soldiers of Fortune, you can take Saito, who keeps Saito and
He's ours. You can't have him.
Emily. Oh no, I can hire him. Saito and Emily are under 75 points, so there's 2 models, and I only spend my 75 points doing
Well,
2 models.
I mean, Emily's in.
Oh, she's already in.
Starco.
Right. So I
along
take,
with our Lord and Savior, Ralph Spector.
that's right, with Raul Spector is amazing. But still, Saito's still a good choice.
Yeah, Saito's a great
for
choice.
40 points. So you can take him, and you can take 3 9-point Yanyos.
You can take Yanyans, that's right.
And then
I don't know.
I'll
probably write my list
Great
like the day
Boschies,
before
though.
and
I'm going to take Yanyos.
do what I always do and just wing it and just be like, okay, I got some ninjas.
And you're going to do it the night before. You're just going
Yeah.
to bring your box, and then the night before you're
Right.
going to roll.
Yeah.
The personal high score attempt of number of people katana in a tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be amazing, actually. I would really like that. Here's
Mono
the
filament for the win.
here's the hopes of unlike Rumble last year, where all the California players played each other. I hope we don't play each other. No offense.
So they have. Did you see the some of the awards that they're giving out at EIC? They're giving out a bunch of secondary awards.
Yeah.
One of them is Ass Flower.
I wonder if that translated right.
They translated it to English.
I'm sure in Spanish it means like noble gentleman or something.
But apparently it's their version of the wooden spoon.
Ass flower.
So that's like, what, last place?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't tell whether it was last place or worst painted.
It's the Silver Award, Silver Surfer Award,
Something like that.
My
yeah.
Army's T1000s, all
Yeah.
of them.
T1000.
New ALF model.
But they got a handful of
Yeah.
interesting
So-
awards that they're giving out.
So Ramon Perez he's put in a ton of effort on that. We've been talking for over a year.
He's a great guy. I love everything that I've been seeing come out of this. Organized really, really well.
Really well organized.
And especially friendly to foreigners who wanted to go.
Yeah, he saved spots for Americans. I mean,
Yeah.
we just hit him up and we're like, he's like, are you guys going to come? We're like,
Yeah.
we found, how much were your tickets? You found cheap tickets.
Like, they were $300 airfare from California to
Yeah.
Spain, round
Yeah.
trip.
Round trip.
Like,
Iberia
my
Airlines?
plane ticket to LVO was more.
I thought, my wife's going. Your
My
wife's
wife's
going.
going.
Your wife is not going.
And my wife was just like,
How is she going to let
oh
that?
no, you guys are going to play your game while I'm stuck eating great food and scuba diving and getting massages and,
It's on a tropical
Sucks.
island.
And I'm
like-
glad your wife and
Yeah.
my life get along because it's going to be great. And
Yeah.
my wife used to live there, so
But it was one of those things
Okay.
where like they
Helpful.
opened up their ticket sales, at whatever ungodly European time.
Yep.
But they were like, oh, but the foreigners, for the Americans that wanted to come, don't worry,
We'll
we got
prioritize.
a spot for
because we
you.
don't use any of that nasty metric time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
metric time.
Metric time. That's really what it is.
All right, so I saw somebody said the funniest thing about the shutdown is, hey, hurry up, let's sneak in the metric system. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Anyway, then right after that, a month after that, is Rumble, and I'm going to Rumble,
And Adepticon.
you're going to Rumble,
Yep.
and you're going to Adepticon.
And Adepticon.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Carlos will be at Adepticon. He told me that.
You're not going to Adepticon this year?
Let's see what happens. I'm non-committal like
We'll
I am
see.
every year, but let's see what happens.
Okay.
If I get some space and the job works out, then I'll do it. So I get a couple.
Real life.
Yeah, real life stuff gets in the way. But yeah,
Not my space soldiers. This is priority.
I've done that. I've been playing that game. That's
So yeah, I'm going to Rumble. You're going to Rumble. Tony, are you going to Rumble?
I don't know if I can or not. I think I might actually have business travel also at that same time.
Albuquerque?
So it's pretty rough. I'm not going to Albuquerque except for that.
It's
But
like the world's longest hangover.
you're saying this after we're talking about coming back from Vegas and resort islands in Spain.
Yeah.
Actually, scenic Albuquerque.
Yeah,
no
like
offense to Albuquerque. But
there's
just
an
saying,
axe throwing place.
bad
Yeah.
axe throwing.
So they're meeting up. Everybody's
Good
flying into Albuquerque the night before, and they're all meeting up at an axe throwing bar.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Axe throwing is way harder than it seems, actually.
So, but I think the bar can only handle 16 people. That was the word I got last year when they went. So
That'll
there's
be
this
interesting.
line of just, like more drunk dudes out there, like, man, I can't wait to get in this place and throw some ass.
That'll be interesting.
No, they didn't have problems last year. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really not hard not to hit yourself with a freaking axe. Like, not something like chops your own ear off accidentally. That is a good Rumble story, actually. So Rumble's at a pretty significant size this year. I can't remember
Yeah,
what the
they've-
final total is.
They've outgrown the one room, and they're actually
they're three
expanding
digits,
into the
right?
second room.
Oh yeah,
3
yeah.
digits for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Like,
Nice.
Last I heard was 120. No, 160.
Yeah, it's 160.
I think it was 160ish.
Yeah, it's really big.
But Dan is an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talk to him regularly. I'm sending him some goodies.
Yep.
He's good.
I was
And
like, where are you
he's
sending
putting a
stuff?
lot-
We're going to be there anyway.
He's putting a lot of work into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you need to. So, yeah, they've already set up. The hotel is there. The hotel got bought out by a real hotel chain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we'll see what that...
It's not the no-name hotel chain
It's not
anymore?
it wasn't a hotel chain. It was just a hotel.
Ah.
So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how it goes with a new...
They're opening the bar up for us early,
Yep, which is super
And-
important.
and they're going to have enough glasses for everyone.
Another important factor.
I'm glad that this is why we're this chain of command, this infinity media sensation that is also an advocate for alcoholism.
No,
Look,
like last night the bar ran out of glasses. They could not.
That's how you know you've got a good community, the best community in wargaming.
Coming from San Diego, I don't know. I mean, come on. I expect you to be on board with this.
I mean, I'm not criticizing anything. I'm just simply saying the truth. Which is that this is a very positive activity we're all doing.
Every time we've gone to San Diego for Kingdom Con, we don't see you for like 3 days.
Kingdom Con is in April of next
year.
Oh,
so it's right there.
And
it
is a delightful little local gaming convention for tabletop RPGs and board games and cards in San Diego, near the beach, with all of the party amenities that San Diego includes in this lovely resort. And
Jenna Cromray is the Infinity War Corps there, and she ran a fantastic tournament in an amazing and beautiful venue.
Literally Paradiso Jungle. Behind them was a waterfall. There's trees everywhere, and there's tables scattered through this wonderful resort. And the local managers of the hotel were walking by, having drinks, going, "That looks sweet," and just watching as people are playing Infinity. Yeah, it's great.
It really is. There's no other con out there like it.
Kingdom Con's very weird.
It's hard to describe.
It is a strangely, oddly drunken place. Yeah.
Wargaming. That's just wargaming after 2 a.m. Once you've got enough party in you is a very interesting experience. I remember actually last time I did play a game where I brought my Nomads versus Space Marines, and we kind of winged some rules, which involved mostly drinks. So.
I think Michael and I, 2 years ago, Michael and I drove down together. It was like, they forget how long that freaking drive is. It's 10 hours, man. So that's just all April. That's a tournament scene.
That's
April.
That's a crazy April.
Yeah. Oh, and then while the LVO is going on, there are 4 major tournaments happening around the world. Okay, so there's the Las Vegas Open, there is CanCon in Canberra, Australia. There is some name of a tournament, a big tournament in Barcelona, and then the week after that, next weekend is Colder Than Carbonite up in Ottawa, Canada. Since Carlos will not be able to attend Las Vegas Open, and I know he's super sad about that, and we miss you a lot, man. Mainly because you get to hang out, drink, eat, and then go shooting with us. That's always a lot of fun. But since he can't be there and do a show for us, he's going to send all 4 of the tournaments a videotape, one of his masterfully videotaped.
The big Carlos reveal seminar.
I love those because it's like a mini version of E3 or like a trade show where you're like, oh, look at this. What'd you see? Is that a boot for the new 2019 sectoral look? Yeah. Oh my God, Rama or whoever.
Yeah. And then I'm sure Carlos is there, and he's going to be there. And then right behind him is like Bedlon, like smacking him on the knuckles every time he says too much.
I'd go to a con to see that.
It's the war workouts. Yeah. So no, it's fantastic. So I can't wait for that seminar video. That just takes us to April, and then at Adepticon in April. What do you guys think? Is there going to be something? We know something's coming out at Adepticon, but what do you guys think?
I think the big teller is going to be what wasn't mentioned in Third Offensive. I think that the big releases are going to be the ones that we didn't hear about, but that we were expecting.
So you're thinking another book like Third Offensive Part 2 or like a new
Fourth Offensive?
I'm thinking like
Fourth Offensive.
No, I'm
more
thinking of
offensive.
The most offensive.
I'm thinking of Campaign Paradiso updated Spec Ops rules.
And Gus
lovely,
explodes.
Right? Yeah, something Svartalheim.
I think Pano's going to take a break for a while. I really think Pano needs to take a break for a while.
Combine Toha, something's going to happen there.
012 Army Box.
And 012 Army Box.
Really?
That would be sick. They have so many ADHs. I want to see Harris teams with ADHs.
People have been talking. There was the rumors of 012 being the next faction as far back as N2 Human Sphere before Toha were introduced. Yeah. So I have no idea what they would even remotely look like. They have apparently some cool tags in the fluff. So maybe that.
I would love to see a Sigma release because I think Sigma are way cooler than Toha.
And they're grand total of like 2 models.
Two models. Already more interesting at 2 models than the entire faction of Toha.
I think that's just because you hate Toha.
It's not because I hate Toha, it's because I don't like the models, and then I don't like the rules.
What about Haku's
And I don't like the players.
Rama tax force.
Obadiah is here usually, so obviously like that. So, and so we have heard that maybe it will be Rama because the Kawarij box is coming out next month.
That's right.
And at least from the sniper shot, and then actually it got leaked. The 4 boxes is up. And one of the cool things in that is it's a heavy rocket launcher, and it's an HMG, and it's a MSV2 Mark 12.
Yeah.
And then there was something else, but I kind of
That's a totally.
I got
new
real
loadout.
dazed when I saw super jumping MSV2 Mark 12, because you know what had that?
Yeah.
The vector operator. He had the HMG.
He had the HMG.
This guy, the Rama guy, cut off the end of the HMG barrel. It's the same one.
You heard it here, folks. First thing, vector operator coming back.
Returns.
Oh God. Please no.
It is. It's there though.
Well, at least now they don't get cover.
Yeah, now they don't get cover, so there is that. And he doesn't.
He doesn't have mimetism.
Doesn't have mimetism.
Yeah.
And then we don't know if Rama will have smoke.
We don't know. But if they have Coon Bikers, they will.
They do not, because that's a different sector.
You're right.
That is Caliphate. Or
Right.
that's not Caliphate. This is Caliphate. That is.
Whatever the biker gang.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't know.
that.
We'll have to
Yeah.
see, since we don't know anything about Rama other than their starter pack.
That-
Probably is
I miss Coon Bikers.
that one.
White Banner won't happen, right?
White
I
Banner.
don't know. Can Yujing have nice things?
Can Eugene have 2 nice things in 1 year?
The problem
They
is,
should.
if Eugene
Right.
gets that second nice thing, Pano's got to get the matching nice thing.
I don't even want to. Okay, so look.
Pano doesn't get nice.
So let's talk about this, right?
It's ridiculous.
Let's think about this objectively, right? You have Svarlheima and you have White Banner, which is on Svarlheima. So if I were to be a betting man and to say that there was a 2-player box coming out in the future, it might look like Svarlheima.
Well, then,
Yes.
Wrong?
I think.
Right?
Yes.
What do you think?
Yeah.
One thing difficult about that though is that every box that they come out has 2 sides that look very different. And now this is space
White.
soldiers with parkas versus space soldiers with parkas.
Yes.
That's a little too close. I'd say that's the one thing about it.
White and blue versus white and green.
They're the only 2 on that.
Yep.
They're the only 2 that are on that planet.
Yep.
No, there are lots of representation of other
But they're the
armies
main
on
2
that planet. There's
factions
the
on
main
the
2
planet.
factions on that planet. There's a ton of Tessium on that planet. That's why we're on Svarlheima. So Tessium equals AP.
Well, I mean, we had JSA leave Yujing
Yeah.
and join Ariadna on their world.
I really wish they had
Why not have somebody else land on Svarlheima and get themselves into the middle of it?
Tunguska crash
Like,
plans
you
on
know,
Oh,
yeah.
12 international intervention into Flashpoint.
I don't know. Why can't Shazvasti get it?
Flashpoint sounds like a 2-box name.
Operation Flashpoint. As long as there's no more cold things in it.
This-
Cold Front and Ice Storm sound
No,
way too far.
this one needs to be a fire one because
On
it's
the ice
iconic
planet?
on the ice planet.
Yes.
Yeah,
Operation
like
Flame
Firewall.
Storm. Firewall. Yeah,
Operation Red Flame, just so we get extra confused.
yeah. But that's on the white box. Yeah, I know. But whatever.
Why can't Shazvasti land on Svarlheim?
You know, allegedly,
It would just
rumors
be
have,
like-
rumors at the end of this year had Shazvasti next on the redesign queue. So
Shazvasti, we're
But are they
hearing
gonna make
a lot
it
of
this year?
Shazvasti.
We don't
There
know.
was a lot of Shazvasti fluff in here.
in Third Offensive,
There's a lot of
plus
Shazvasti.
loyal human operative Ada Swanson, who's totally a human.
If you haven't read her fluff is really cool, actually. I mean, she's a not speculo killer. She was a speculo
Infiltrator
killer.
or something.
I think she was.
She's like an
Anybody-
agent,
Yeah.
like an impersonating agent who takes the identity of like a black market kingpin.
Yes.
Who then loves that job more than being like an alien spy, and just like answers calls from work so she doesn't get fired.
Yes. Yeah. She
great.
just keeps doing her thing.
And then
with NCA.
Then the NCA and like the hexahedron have her like on the biggest contracts.
Yeah.
Because that's how that works. It's great. It's
Because
great.
That's exactly how
Anybody
that
who
works.
says
yeah.
that Shazvasti didn't get anything the past year of new releases
It
has
is
not
cool.
read the fluff
It
in
is cool.
Third Offensive. They got so much.
Yeah, there's a new speculo they're talking about
They're
in the
going to
fluff.
resculpt. They're definitely resculpting pretty much the entire line, even
Got to,
like
yeah.
even like the Sphinx.
So, yeah, and the Sphinx. I mean, so some people said that, Carlos told them one time over drinks that, it's not going to be, that stuff on Onyx won't be done. Okay, sure. But I think
Didn't
I
the
think there's
Avatar get a
a
resculpt?
mass. Avatar
Oh,
got
totally
a
Avatar,
did.
the Avatar got
Avatar
a
worked out.
sexy
It's got jacked.
It got really
It was
good. So did the
awesome.
Granted.
Yeah.
It got super alien. But I think I think most everything in shots could use a resculpt.
Yeah.
And a rules redesign because they end up being slow.
We did get one sneak peek of a rule for Shasvasti in
We
Third
did.
Offensive.
We did. Decoy on the Cadmus. So in the rules, it talks about decoy. It talks about how to use decoy in AD, and specifically talks about the Cadmus model.
Shazvasti Cadmus, who's an airdrop trooper, previously had some weird rule where he was both a camo marker and a mine and a seed embryo, but now it looks like he drops his decoy based on what that says. So that suggests that the Cadmus and Shazvasti are in design.
Yeah.
Unless that's simply a red herring, which is kind of weird to put in, so I don't think that would be the case.
I think, and people are like, why would you ever do that? Well,
Sounds like rules are written, but they're not not ready for publish yet.
It's like a Bashi Bazook, right? A Bashi Bazook comes on the side with Hollow Echo 2, right? And you got 3 shots. He's got the best save in the game.
Yep.
The Cadmus can do exactly the same thing.
And if you've got an AD trooper that can drop down and cause an explosion, why not one that can drop down with his
with two
hollow
decoys?
projector?
Yeah, with 2 decoys, and then you're like, cool. Which one do I shoot?
24 inches apart.
Or some kind
overall.
of airdrop fast panda thing.
That is having a Zampa Barba. Comes out next month.
Oh, there you go.
According to the sneak.
So many things. See, it's hard to even keep track of how many things there are.
So
a lot of things. There's so many things.
So this talked a lot about Shas. We got some new rules that Shas will obviously have. I think maybe one of the ends this year might be Shas. That would be really rad. Maybe as soon as a deck. I don't know. That would be fantastic. I know I'm looking forward to it just because it's in such dire need of a redesign that they could do anything. Right, and that's a very exciting space as a consumer and as a player to think about.
We know that Shazvasti is going to change, and they're gonna end up changing for the better.
Yeah.
But hard not to.
Ouch.
Shazvasti has a bunch of rules which currently I don't even think actually technically work in the game anymore.
Yeah, it's very frustrating for Shots players, I'm sure.
I'm sorry, both of you out there.
Like Stripes Holka is like, I win with them. You do win with them. Chad, you're very good with them, actually. Of course, the Sphinx is a monster of a model. It's probably one of the best tags in the game. So, yeah. Thoughts on the Black End? What do we think the Black End's going to be?
The Black End on the calendar.
The Black End.
Quote, new way to play Infinity.
The new way to play Infinity.
Which
all words
suggests that it's Infinity, so it's not another game, as in like a fantasy game or something.
Yep.
It's not Aristea, because that's not Infinity.
It's not going to be.
Correct.
It's not going to be a campaign system.
Yes.
Maybe it could be.
No, it could be. I mean, that's a new way to play.
It could be. But
because that's a new way to play this game.
That is a new way to play this game, yeah.
But it's not new.
I mean, a new attempt at it, a new version of it,
sure.
one that's updated for this version.
They could have, and they've learned a lot since they came out of Paradiso about rule structuring, about interactions.
I think one thing that's hard to remember is that before the original campaign Paradiso book came out, Infinity had no scenarios. Like, scenarios didn't exist in this game, which is about really complicated missions and scenarios, until that book came out. And that version where you're trying to get to like 10 victory points, and you have to do objectives to get to that, was super kind of being tested out with the original campaign Paradiso. And only with like N3 and then like the ITS seasons related to N3 coming out, did we get the current structure that we know now. Yeah. So clearly with that knowledge they've gained before, they could restructure the way campaigns work. I can see that.
They've got dedicated staff. They've got. I mean, they got a lot more. So I think campaign is a very good. A new campaign system is a very good option for the Black Hand at the end of the year. I'm still holding out. I really want remote racing, and the reason that I want remote racing is because I want more remotes, and I especially want remotes that have like little doohickeys on and and look really cool and are very different, because that lets me feel all kinds of weird, funky, different remotes in some of my remote heavier armies, like Tunguska.
Did you ever play like the Halo, like Mongoose racing?
What?
In Halo, when you jump on the back of the guy's like four-wheeler.
I thought you meant a tabletop game.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah, no. On the Xbox.
On this what?
Yeah. No.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't.
I don't know. I think the Black End.
Like a bike.
I think it's going to be more outside the box. I'd like to see a card game. I'd like to see a card game.
Ooh.
You say card game.
I'd like to see a card game. They've already got the cards. They've got somebody making cards for them.
That's true.
They've got lots of artwork to put on the cards.
That's true.
That's true.
So much fluff. I mean,
you could do some kind of limited card game, like with like kind of LCG model.
You do
or like a Netrunner, right? Or you can Netflix. You can do
Netflix.
Corvus Belli presents Netflix. Yeah.
I mean, and adding new factions as expansions, like it's just begging for it.
What I've heard of some people speculating, since of course we have no idea, is naval battle game. because there's a lot more emphasis on space battles and space actions
But
with
the-
Third Offensive.
But the whole
And
thing
we
is
have-
supposed
I
to
didn't know
be
that.
less like total war.
Well, we don't know with the way
Right.
Third Offensive is going, because if, for example, the combined army invades in force, you can have like a space duel game. It could just be enforcing the blockade against
Yeah,
small
the
actions.
Wotan blockade
Right.
could be up. I mean, that's
And
cool.
so
Oh,
that's
some sort of like kill team scale.
so
like,
some sort of like very maneuver-based space battle game that
on a
might-
hex board.
I don't know about that. Maybe,
It has to be on a
there's
hex
enough
board.
hexes in this game.
It has
but,
to be on a hex board.
Yeah. But yeah, who knows, right? Especially
It
since
could be
we-
interior of a spaceship. It could be
Right.
some small squad action.
Sure, right? There's a lot of different ways that could be. Some people have speculated, which I don't think is the case, like a large scale army scale game, which would not really work out in my mind.
I don't think so.
But
What about
A space battle
Infinity
game
played on a hex board, kind of RSA like, but with more Infinity rules?
I don't know what that would give you, because you're already playing
Yeah, what do you-
Infinity.
Because it's just a new way to play Infinity.
But in new ways, like what is it different other than
Yeah, how does it-
mechanically
how does
being
it add?
different, right?
Is it-
Like a space battle is uniquely different. Racing is a
Yes.
different genre.
Because then you can link your space. You can do what they do in GW,
or
where you
drop
have-
zone commander, drop
or
fleet
drop zone
commander,
command.
right?
Yeah, correct.
My special forces, I will strike at that location in the space battle game, and then we have the ground battle being played.
That's right. And the space battle has implications about like your list when you play later on. I could see that
Right.
being a very cool. I mean, we've already seen it. You've seen it in 2 different game systems,
Right.
so we know it works.
And they've given
Well,
very little
we know it's
fluff
there.
about exactly how space battles are done in
Yeah.
the books, just so that they have freedom for what on earth those mechanics would look like.
They're very technically savvy, so
Choose
mean-
your own adventure novels.
Young adult novels about an adorable Shasvasti who needs to make a friend.
And did you see
and
that?
so he shanks her and becomes that friend.
Bit and Kisses, magical adventure.
Oh man.
How to become socialist Democrats.
How to become a traitor to the human race.
I think. They have said. Carlos has said
More novels?
that we're getting a comic this year.
Oh,
Ooh,
Comics.
I like that.
Another comic this year hopefully means another model.
Almost certainly. Every book they've had has had a model.
That's true.
yeah, but they said that that releasing a model with Overwatch was a big mistake. It didn't let them get
with-
into certain bookstores.
The problem with
Up with Outrage.
Outrage,
Yeah, with Outrage.
was that Outrage was printed in a non-big box store format as far as the United States goes. So the way that Barnes and Nobles and at the time Borders stocks their manga model or manga novels is
Right.
they are differently sized than what you would find in Japan.
Right.
I mean, in China.
Yes.
You would be able to tell me that better
Yeah.
than I can. But that's
They're different size.
one of the reasons that has been touted. And because of that, they could not get the contracts with the big box
Because they didn't
stores
fit on the shelf physically with the
on
other mangas.
on the way that they wanted them.
Interesting.
And it was primarily because of
The model
The
box.
model was in it. The book itself fit on the shelves, but the model
Right.
being
Because it's
in
taller.
the book with it.
What I love, one of the things and reasons that I'm like normal, like I do business now, is because I love hearing these operational problems that people face, and that in this particular case, it was a lack of that particular market research that led to this problem. But that stuff is fascinating because it's so, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff happens. So this one, you can see them; they're gonna do something different.
This
It's got to be
stuff's complicated.
resized. Yes, but like working across.
But I'd love to
global
see.
distribution
I'd love to
networks and
see
stuff.
more mangas. I would love to see a lot more of them. But with or without minis, I don't care. I just want to see more books. I want to see more books, more novels,
Yeah, more
and more mangas. Because I think all of that was great.
I know I've asked Larry Correa in public multiple times, and he says it's not going to.
Yeah, with or without models, I don't care.
There's all kinds of contractual, and he gave a very erudite reason for why all this stuff happens and how you actually do these like LinkedIn books. As Larry did some stuff for Private Press, but it's very, very interesting. So I'm hoping that they get somebody who will be able to write that. It'd be interesting to hear some Spanish or French voices that can get translated over, because
There's probably information there that we aren't getting.
they're
For sure.
well, but I mean they have a very different writing style,
That's true.
right?
That's true. They just got. I'm pretty sure that with any translation, because Outrage was reasonably translated. I'm
Yeah.
sure they effectively paraphrased everything to be more English natural, which is something they're doing more with Infinity these days. Because like back in the day, you had some really interesting grammar.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think the storytelling aspects you find in those different cultures is powerful and
Yeah.
interesting. And when they come over to the U.S.,
They have different ways of telling stories.
Yeah, different ways of telling stories. Like you run into this a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like when we see that a lot in Japanese and Chinese books. Like I was reading Three Body Problem the other day. It's a very different way to tell a story. I'm excited for that because we hear a lot of English and proper English
and
novelists for gaming, and so I really like some strong.
Let me tell you about a comic.
Yeah, so we got Black End. We think maybe campaign. I don't think it's gonna be remote racing, but I really like it when you're remote racing. What else?
Card game potentially.
Card game. Space battle.
Yeah.
I like those. Are the three that I find most likely. Those are. Whatever you guys think, post in the comments if you guys have an opinion on that, because I don't know. It's a long way off.
Somebody's gonna be right.
Almost a year off, or they're not. It's something totally off the wall. Nobody picks.
VR game for the Oculus. VR hacking game, so your friends can be wearing goggles while doing this.
If you would be able to tell almost, would they announce that in December? Would we know a Black End was out all the way since Gen Con that doesn't get even announced until December?
Oh, whatever it is.
Could that contract be happening in the video game industry?
Almost certainly not.
That's what
this is going to be
something in the
something
video
they
game
can
shoot
do.
leak.
This is something they're going to be doing in house.
That's an
Yeah,
announcement.
Of course, definitely.
Because you can't keep anything like that secret for that long if it's out of house. Like, it'll
stuff leaks.
Right.
The existence of things leaks. But yeah.
Okay. So that's our 2018 in review and our 2019 hopes, dreams, and it's going to be good. I know we've got really busy Q1s, and we've got to figure out what we're going to be playing. Yeah. So that's what I got. Do you guys got anything to add? Anything you guys want a parting shot on this one? You can say pretty much anything because I don't care about any 17 stuff.
We were talking about what model releases this past year.
That's our favorite.
Yeah. And I thought I had a favorite, and then I remembered that Avatar model, and was like, never mind. I think the Avatar.
What was your favorite?
The Avatar for sure. Like that just looks awesome.
It's a good looking model.
Second runners up would be the Thorakides and the Keisotsu SWC boxes. Hard choice between those two, also.
For me, it would be pretty much anything that got released for Tunguska. The Grenzers, I think, are the weakest model, and that should tell you my opinion of how good the box is.
Yeah. I gotta say, Salamandra. That thing's amazing. It's the best looking tag. It has so much style. It has mechanical bits, so you can imagine the flamethrower like wheels out on this like servo arm and it like
comes out over the top and like
and it has so much flavor, and it's backed up by dudes in TSA vests with
Yes.
little neckties and the collared shirts.
Yes.
And that's great. Those guys are wonderful. And I think my other favorite models are really low key, but they're great, which is the Lime Kazakhs in Ice Storm.
Really good, yeah.
Look great. The details, the faces, the small subtleties, they really stand up well for something which is not a flashy set of models.
It's when the baseline models, when the baseline models are knocking out of the park. That's really good.
Right.
Yeah.
Not everybody has to be doing backflips
No.
or weird Tark Mansuri stuff or doing that upside down Wolver thing. Sometimes just standing around with a rifle and just looking good is just looking good.
Yep, I'm with you. I think pretty much anything from Tunguska looked badass. The Hollow Man, the starter box,
Stupid sexy
Salamander.
hecklers.
Yeah.
Hecklers.
You and your giant hearing aid that jams me through walls.
If I was going to start a new army, really close to Tunguska.
Or are the Zulu Cobras better than that?
They're more expensive. They're more expensive, the Zulu Cobras.
How much?
By like 6 points for the jammer to get the sensor and the BS and other good things.
They get sensor and
And
ballistic
real
skill
camo
and real camo for 6 points.
Yeah.
Jammer still
And
needs
forward
new
deployment,
rules.
Yeah.
I still would like to see the Jammer become a proper hacking attack.
Because no one's ever talked about jammers in the Infinity community for the last 5 years nonstop. Jammers and bolts. I predict in 2019 there will be discussion about jammers and bolts, and it will be controversial, and people will be hurt all over.
We already had a bold discussion yesterday. You were on it, on WGC.
I do not confirm or deny having a heated bolt discussion.
Or why you even got involved.
I think it's like a reflex at this point.
Friends don't let friends bring bolts.
It's his like bolt triggered like meme. Tody's just like bolts.
It's like this. Imagine your spouse comes home. Your spouse comes home, and she's like, honey, I bought BTS 6 and bioimmunity, and all it cost was all of our money. That's bolts to me.
You get a ballistic skill bump.
It's okay. It's okay. I bought all that. Here's a pack of M&Ms for you. Yeah.
And then the dude across the street got.
Meanwhile, the dude across the street is driving
bought
by
a new
with,
pool with
it's like,
Dorota.
I won the lottery. My new lottery comes in the form of mimetism, linkable PS13 dudes.
And his motorcycle can kill you with a thought.
His motorcycle has a jammer, and also Lieutenant Level 2 and NCO. Yeah.
And it gets
So, yeah.
It was a jam-packed, busy year, and this year has got a lot going on for it.
It's only lightening up a little bit, it looks like. And so actually the real question that I'll leave you guys with tonight is, what does 2020 look like for Corvus?